Hello, man of word, we truly appreciate that you joined us. We are glad that we can support you in your further development. Today's topic is about 5 lessons that everyone should learn from the book Awaken the Giant Within, written by Tony Robbins. So, let's begin. Welcome to amanofword.com, the most refreshing network in the business world. Why should you pay close attention to this? 1. You will learn what messages send 5 of our emotions that we want to avoid. 2. You will learn how you can handle those emotions. And 3. You will learn what are the relations between those emotions. I'll share with you the thought of Tony Robbins about the last 5 primary emotions most people try to avoid but which you will instead use to drive yourself to action. So, let's dive in. Lesson 1, Disappointment. In this book is written that disappointment can be a very destructive emotion if you don't deal with it quickly. Disappointment is the devastating feeling of being let down or that you're going to miss out on something forever. Anything that makes you feel sad or defeated as a result of expecting more than you get is disappointing. The message disappointment offers you is that an expectation you have had, a goal you were really going for, is probably not going to happen, so it's time to change your expectations to make them more appropriate for this situation and take action to set and achieve a new goal immediately. And that is the solution. The solution. 1. Immediately figure out something you can learn from this situation that could help you in the future to achieve the very thing you were after in the first place. 2. Set a new goal, something that will be even more inspiring, and something you can make immediate progress toward. 3. Realize that you may be judging too soon. You may just be in what I call lag time. People often set themselves up for disappointment by having completely unrealistic expectations. If you go out today and plant a seed, you can't go back tomorrow and expect to see a tree. 4. A fourth major solution to dealing with disappointment is to realize that a situation isn't over yet, and develop more patience. Completely reevaluate what you truly want, and begin to develop an even more effective plan for achieving it. 5. The most powerful antidote to the emotion of disappointment is cultivating an attitude of positive expectancy about what will happen in the future, regardless of what has occurred in the past. Lesson 2, Guilt. In this book is written that the emotions of guilt, regret, and remorse are among the emotions human beings do most to avoid in life, and this is valuable. They are painful emotions for us to experience, but they, too, serve a valuable function, one which becomes apparent once we hear the message. The message. Guilt tells you that you have violated one of your own highest standards, and that you must do something immediately to ensure that you're not going to violate that standard again in the future. Guilt is the ultimate leverage for many people in changing a behavior. However, some people try to deal with their guilt by denying and suppressing it. Unfortunately, this rarely works. Guilt does not go away, it only comes back stronger. The other extreme is to surrender to and wallow in guilt, where we begin to just accept the pain and experience learned helplessness. The solution. 1. Acknowledge that you have, in fact, violated a critical standard you hold for yourself. 2. Absolutely commit yourself to making sure this behavior will never happen again in the future. Rehearse in your mind how, if you could live it again, you could deal with the same situation you feel guilty about in a way that is consistent with your own highest personal standards. Guilt has then served its purpose to drive you to hold a higher standard in the future. Utilize it, don't wallow in it. Lesson 3, Inadequacy. In this book is written that this feeling of unworthiness occurs anytime we feel we can't do something we should be able to do. The challenge, of course, is that often we have a completely unfair rule for determining whether we're inadequate or not. First, understand the message inadequacy is giving you. The message. The message is that you don't presently have a level of skill necessary for the task at hand. It's telling you that you need more information, understanding, strategies, tools, or confidence. The solution. 1. Simply ask yourself, is this really an appropriate emotion for me to feel in this situation? Am I really inadequate, or do I have to change the way I'm perceiving things? If your feeling is justified, the message of inadequacy is that you need to find a way to do something better than you've done it before. The solution in this case is also obvious. 2. Whenever you feel inadequate, appreciate the encouragement to improve. Remind yourself that you're not perfect, and that you don't need to be. With this realization, you can begin to feel adequate the moment you decide to commit yourself to Connie. Trademark, constant and never-ending improvement in this area. 3. Find a role model, someone who's effective in the area in which you feel inadequate, and get some coaching from them. Just the process of deciding to master this area of your life and making even the smallest amount of progress will turn a person who's inadequate into a person who's learning. You're not inadequate. You may be untrained or unskilled in a particular area, but you're not inadequate. The capability for greatness in anything is within you even now. Lesson 4, Overload or Overwhelm. In this book is written that grief, depression, and helplessness are merely expressions of feeling overloaded or overwhelmed. Grief happens when you feel like there is no empowering meaning for something that has happened, or that your life is being negatively impacted by people, events, or forces that are outside your control. People in this state become overwhelmed and often begin to feel that nothing can change the situation, that the problem is too big, it's permanent, pervasive, and personal. The message. The message of being overwhelmed is that you need to reevaluate what's most important to you in the situation. The reason you're overloaded is that you're trying to deal with too many things at once, and you're trying to change everything overnight. The feeling of being overloaded or overwhelmed disrupts and destroys more people's lives than just about any other emotion. The solution. 1. Decide, out of all the things you're dealing with in your life, what the absolute, most important thing is for you to focus on. 2. Now write down all the things that are most important for you to accomplish and put them in an order of priority. Just putting them down on paper will allow you to begin to feel a sense of control over what's going on. 3. Tackle the first thing on your list, and continue to take action until you've mastered it. As soon as you've mastered one particular area, you'll begin to develop momentum. Your brain will begin to realize that you are in control, and you're not overloaded, overwhelmed, or depressed, that the problem is not permanent, and that you can always come up with a solution. 4. When you feel that it's appropriate to start letting go of an overwhelming emotion like grief, start focusing on what you can control and realize that there must be some empowering meaning to it all, even though you can't comprehend it yet. Our self-esteem is often tied to our ability to control our environments. When we create an environment inside our minds that has too many intense and simultaneous demands upon us, of course we'll feel overloaded. But we also have the power to change this by focusing on what we can control and dealing with it a step at a time. Lesson 5, Loneliness. In this book is written that anything that makes us feel alone, apart, or separate from others belongs in this category. Have you ever felt really lonely? I don't think there's anybody alive who hasn't. The message. In this book is written, the message of loneliness is that you need a connection with people. But what does the message mean? People often assume it means a sexual connection, or instant intimacy. Then they feel frustrated, because even when they do have intimacy, they still feel lonely. The solution. 1. The solution to loneliness is to realize that you can reach out and make a connection immediately and end the loneliness. There are caring people everywhere. 2. Identify what kind of connection you do need. Do you need an intimate connection? Maybe you just need some basic friendship, or someone to listen to you or to laugh or talk with. You simply have to identify what your true needs are. 3. Remind yourself that what's great about being lonely is that it means, I really care about people, and I love to be with them. I need to find out what kind of connection I need with somebody right now, and then take an action immediately to make that happen. 4. Then, take immediate action to reach out and connect with someone. What are the best things to remember from this? 1. Frustration that we discuss in the previous part from this series, leads to disappointment. 2. Disappointment leads to guilt and guilt leads to inadequacy. And 3. Inadequacy leads to overwhelm. Well, our list ends here. Let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts about our list. Thank you for watching until the end, and if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell button to be notified for every new learning opportunity. And always remember, man of word, be aware of the person that you can become.